But I won't be part of it because no, y'all is not a part of it. Yahuwah is not part of it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. When you're in groups of things that are dealing with leaven, you're going to stay in that leaven. Like Korah, that was leaven right there. You said, Musa, you think more upon yourself to be prince over us. Talking about where's this land of milk and honey and stuff. Musa was taking y'all there, man. If you would have been obedient, man, you would have got there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all chose him. How you going to jump the gun, man, and y'all done got you out of Egypt? Y'all done got you through the Red Sea. You know what I'm saying? How you going to jump like that, man? You don't cross the Mesopotamian, you will never see the Egyptians again. Now you going through the wilderness. Now you done went Mount Sinai. You done seen y'all come down already. Talk to you. Now you don't get the golden calf, man. Got crazy. How you gonna do that, man? When you know the water and the myrrh, put a vine in there, man, tree, and it can't sleep. How is it that you can get manna every day? How is it that gave you quail to eat? Yahuwah has. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff. Can you prepare a table in a wilderness of flesh? Hey, man, you tempting y'all. He does this anyway to show you that his power. How you can do all these things? You know, then you're going to go against a certain thing. Then he said, who is Aaron? That's bad, yo, when he said that, yo. When Musa said that, man. You know what I'm saying? You're going to rise up against Aaron. Aaron ain't nothing, really. Aaron was just a mouthpiece, man. Aaron had no power. He was. You know what I'm saying? And I like when he said, who was Aaron that you go against, man? Oh, he said, yo, like, dang, man. He's getting Aaron to be something, you know? But I speak this again, and I say this again, this was living in a group. You gotta watch out who you're hanging out with. I'm talking about Yahuwah people too. I'm talking about y'all, man. We live for the name of y'all. We walking y'all, man. We better not be no group people, man, that got leaven, man. You gonna fall with the ship, you know? Fall in it. Let's go to 1 Kings chapter 1. I'll just give you examples of groups. When Musa told him to come away from there, man. Musa told him, man. If Musa would have told me, you know, back in the day, I don't care if you're my mother and father, man. I would have to sack with somebody else, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Korah's daughters, they was there. We said they're not father wickedness. They left there. They had to be the ones that had to leave because they didn't have nothing, man.
Everything's gone.
Yeah. That's correct. They got down in the ditch, man. It came in. Everything they had, tents, cattle. They didn't have nothing. You're correct. Yeah, we're just thinking about that. That's why they went to Musa. We were not like our father, that committed sin. We don't have nobody to marry us. Don't let our name, it says, don't let our name go. Wow. Yep. They talked to Musa about that. They were pleading for him. They didn't have no name. All the name was in the dirt. But look at it. They got out and left. They left that, man. If not, they would have been dead too. All right. 1 Kings chapter 1. We're going to talk about Adonijah. We could talk about Absalom too. All right, verse 5. Then Adonijah, the son of Haggith, exalted himself, saying, I will be king, and prepare the chariots and horsemen, 50 men to run before him. And his father had not displeased him at any time, saying, why hast thou done so? And he also was a very goodly man. And his mother buried him after Absalom. And he conferred with Joab, the son of Zeruiah, with Abiathar the priest, and they followed Adonijah and helped him. Okay, conspiracy. But Zadok the priest, and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and Nathan the prophet, and Shimei, and Rei, and the mighty men which belonged to David were not with Adonijah. Let's think about that. I want to see that. See, they didn't conspire. They knew what was going on already. You hear me? They knew it. But think about it. Joab That was David's right-hand man, commander of the army. Abiathar, he was the priest. He was one was the last priest alive before Saul killed his family and ran to David. David took care of them in the wilderness. Think about these things. These people are conspiring against David, going against the throne to take the throne. And raised one of his sons, Adonijah, to take the throne. They conspired. Verse 9. Adonijah slew sheep and oxen, fat cattle by the stone of Zoheleth, which is by Enrogel, and called all his brothers, the king's son, and all the men of Judah, the king's servant. But Nathan the prophet, and Benaiah, and the mighty man, and Solomon his brother, he called not. Wherefore Nathan spake unto Bathsheba, the mother of Solomon, saying, Has I not heard that Adonijah, the son of Haggith, doeth reign, and David our Lord knoweth it not? See, King David didn't know this. Now therefore come, let me, I pray you, give you counsel that you may save your own life and the life of your son Solomon. Go and get you unto King David, and say unto him, Did is not thou my Elohim, my Lord, O King, swear unto thy handmaid, saying, Assuredly Solomon your son shall reign after me, and he shall sit upon my throne when thou doest. And then he said, why? Then do Adonijah reign? That's a question mark. Behold, while thou yet talkest there with the king, I also will come and after you and confirm your words. See, they set up a game plan to go to the king about what's going on. And Bathsheba went into the king, into the chamber, and the king was very old. And Abishai, what's that? Abishai.
Just one of them.
Here you go, Abishai. The Shebonite ministered unto the king, and Bathsheba bowed and did obeisance unto the king. And the king said, What wouldest thou? And she said to him, My lord, thou swearest by Elohim Yah unto your handmaid, saying, Assuredly Solomon your son shall reign after me, after you, and he shall sit upon your throne. And then now, behold, Adonijah reigns. And now, my lord the king, he knows it not. And he has slain oxen and fatted cattle and sheep in abundance, and have called all the sons of the king, and Abiathar the priest, and Joab the captain of the host. But Solomon my servant, Solomon your servant, have he not called. And you, my lord, O king, the eyes of all ears are upon you, that you should tell them who shall sit on the throne of my Elohim the king after him. Otherwise it shall come to pass, when my lord the king shall sleep with his fathers, that I and my son Solomon shall be counted offenders. And lo, while she yet talked with the king, Nathan the prophet also came in. And they told the king, saying, Behold, Nathan the prophet. And when he was come in before the king, he bowed himself before the king with his face to the ground. Nathan said, My lord, O king, as thou said, Adonijah shall reign after you, and he shall sit on your throne, sit upon your throne. For he is gone down this day, and hath slain oxen and fat cattle, and sheep in abundance, and have called all the king's sons and the captains of the host, and Abiathar the priest. And behold, they eat and drink before him, and say, Yah save King Adonijah. But me, even me and your servant, and Zadok the priest, and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and the servant Solomon, have he not called? And this thing done by my lord the king, and thou hast not shewed it unto your servant, who should sit on the house, should sit on the throne of my lord the king after him. Then King David answered and said, Call me Bathsheba. And she came into the king's presence and stood before the king. And the king sware and said, As Yah liveth, that have redeemed my soul out of all distress, even as I swear unto you by Yah of Yisrael, saying, Surely Solomon your son shall reign after me. and he shall sit upon my throne in my stead. Even as so would I certainly do this day. Then Bathsheba bowed with her face to the earth and did reverence to the king and said, Let my Elohim King David live forever. And King David said, Call me Zadok the priest and Nathan the prophet and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada. And they came before the king. And the king said, the king also said unto them, Take with you the servant of your Lord, and cause Solomon my son to ride upon my own mule, and bring him down to Gihon, and let Zadok the priest and Nathan the prophet anoint him their king over Israel, and blow with the trumpet, and say, Yah say King Solomon. Then you shall come up after him, and come up after him, that he may come and sit upon my throne, for he shall be king in my stead, and I have appointed him to be ruler over Israel and over Judah. And Benaiah the son of Jehoiada answered the king and said, Mark, the Yah of my Lord, the king, say so too. As Yah hath been with my Lord the king, even so be he with Solomon, and make his throne greater than the throne of my Lord King David. So Zadok the priest, and Nathan the prophet, and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and the Cherethites, and the Pelethites went down and caused Solomon to ride upon King David's mule, and brought him to the Gihon. And so that the priest took a horn of oil out of the tabernacle, and anointed Solomon, and they blew the trumpet, and all the people said, Yah save King Solomon. And all the people came up after him, and the people piped with pipes, and rejoiced with great joy, so that the earth rent with a sound of them. And Elijah and all the guests that were with him heard it, as they had made an end of eating. And when Joab heard the sound of the trumpet, he said, Wherefore is this noise of the city being in an uproar? And while he yet spake, behold, Jonathan, the son of Abiathar, the priest came. Adonijah said unto him, Come in, for thou art a violent man. Bring good tidings. And Jonathan answered and said to Adonijah, this good tidings, all right. Verily our Lord King David has made Solomon king, and the king has sent with him Zadok the priest, Nathan the prophet, and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and the Cherethites and the Pelethites, and they had caused him to ride upon the king's mule. And Zadok the priest and Nathan the prophet had anointed him king in Gihon. And they are come up from thence rejoicing, so that the city rang again. This is the noise that thou hast heard. You have heard. And also Solomon sitteth on the throne of the kingdom. Moreover, king's servant came to bless our Lord King David, saying, Yah make the name of Solomon better than the name, and make his throne greater than your throne. And the king bowed himself upon the bed. And also thus said the king, Blessed be Yah of Israel, which have given one to sit on my throne this day, and my eyes even to see it. And all the guests that were with Adonijah were afraid, and rose up, and went every man his way. And Elijah feared because of Solomon. He rose and went and caught him on the horns of altars. I'll start right there. All his guests that was there, when they heard that King Solomon was the king of the throne, the guests were feared. They left. That was treason. They knew what treason was, because the king anointed King Solomon to be on his throne. Not Adonijah with Joab and Abiathar, you know what I'm saying? Conspiracy and did their own thing. When they heard that noise, man, when the Zadok, man, you know what I'm saying? And Nathan the prophet, man, and Benaiah, you know what I'm saying? You know, heard what King David had said and anointed him, and he was riding on a mule, on King David's mule, all through the area into God, anointed him, that his one makes King David's throne greater than his, and King Solomon's throne greater than his. When they found that out, man, they left. That's why y'all told me that. When you find out evil, and you didn't know it was evil, they were ignorant. The people was ignorant, man. They didn't know better, man. So when they found out what King David, man, had anointed King Solomon the right way, they left. That's what I'm trying to tell you. When you know something you don't did ignorant, you just didn't know better, then you found out, just leave. They knew better. You keep on riding with Joab. You keep on reading the story with Joab and Abiathar and Adonai. You see what happened. You stay with those cats. You know what I'm saying? That's why Adonai ran and got a hole in the altar, man. He stayed there, man, after King Solomon finished all his business. Then he went up there. Because why? Adonai was supposed to die. He knew that. Joab was supposed to die. Abiathar, man, he lost the priesthood right there. That was prophesied anyway. He was part of Eli. The priest Eli. When y'all prophesied that you wanted no man in the priesthood, he was the last one. He was the last one in the priesthood. When nobody after him ever in the priesthood no more. That's prophecy. When y'all prophesied to something, it doesn't have to go past right in the day. It go back 3 or 4 generations afterwards. It's gonna come to pass. He said he told Eli because you didn't want you didn't want to take your sons out of the priesthood and you didn't want to chastise them. Then I'm gonna take you out of the priesthood. Same thing. But I'm trying to get at, well, in this story, man, they was raising up a king illegally. And when he did that, when they found out that it was wrong, the guests and everybody left. The king's sons, the servants, and everybody else left and went away from Joab, Adonijah, Abiathar. That's what all the children of Korah, man. Korah and all that. They could do the same thing. And Abiathar and all them. They could have left. You know, the 250 renowned men with essentials, they all proud. It was me up there. I always said, Dorothy, man, here you go, man. I'm out, man. I'm done. You fight against Yahuwah Almighty. Musa? King David? King David, man, had the heart of Yah. You gonna fight against King David like that? You see what happened to Absalom? Absalom was gone. You know? Adonijah was Absalom, Adonijah. They were brothers, man. They wanted the throne. See what happened to them. Got taken out.
I mean, plated at food and I'm leaving. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. They just got done eating, man. You know, they got done eating when they heard the feast. You know, what's this noise? You know, coming out there. I know this servant, man. He always got a good report. He came out with a good report. He told you, man. He told you, man, that King Solomon's king in his stead. David. Let's go to, thank you, y'all. Let's go to 2 Kings, chapter 3, verse 11. I'm just talking about groups of 11, man. You don't have to be in 11. You know, it's a group. I'm talking about these are holy men, man. I'm talking about these are y'all's people. You know, they're not having that. So y'all is not going to have it with you. I mean, since we're in America, since we got grace through Yeshua, there's no excuses, man. There's none. Second, what did I say? 2 Kings chapter 3. Verse 11. But Jehoshaphat said, there is not, okay, this is when Jehoshaphat went to war with Ahab to fight the country. Something happens. All right? Jehoshaphat said to them, is there not a prophet of the Lord of Elohim, that we may inquire of Elohim by him? And one of the kings of Yisrael saying, Yisrael's servant answered and said, here is Elisha, the son of Shaphat, which poured water on the hands of Elijah. And Jehoshaphat said, the word of Elohim is with him. So the king of Yisrael and Jehoshaphat and the king of Edom went down to him. And Elisha said unto the king of Israel, what have I to do with thee? Get to the prophets of your fathers and to the prophets of your mothers. You already know what he's talking about. And the king of Israel said to him, nay, for Yah hath called this 3 kings together to deliver them into the hands of Moab. And Elisha said, as Yah of hosts liveth, before whom I stand, surely were it not that I regard the presence of Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, I would not look toward you, nor see you. But now bring me a minstrel. I'm going to start right there. The company, because of Jehoshaphat was with King Ahab. I think it's King Ahab. He's the king of Israel. Because of that, Elisha wasn't going to be with him. That 11, the group. You understand that? So because you were with a man of Yah, I would have been in your presence. Now if it was just King of Israel, Elisha wouldn't even be there. So because you were Jehoshaphat, I'll get what you want. I'll prophesy what Yah says. Well, that's what I'm saying right here. We are men of Yah. Yes, he was Yisrael, but he was in sin. Then you had somebody Yisrael that was with Yah. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be in company with somebody who's in sin. You know what I'm saying? In the company of that. Even the prophet said so. He said, because Jehoshaphat was there, I'm here. But if he wasn't here, I wouldn't have been in your company. Point blank. We had the same right now. You are the temple of Ruach Kodesh. If you're with Yah, I'm going to be with you. If not, I'm not going to be in your presence. Point blank. You're a sin. So why do you go to the prophets of your forefathers and the prophets of your mother? You're talking about Ahab and Jezebel. Why do you go with them? You know what I'm saying? He said, because you're with Jehoshaphat, I'm going to hear you out. But if not, I wouldn't be in your presence. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We don't have to be in people's presence. If they're in sin, you don't have to be there. I don't care if you're Yisrael or not. If you sin and doing wickedness, I ain't gonna be in your presence. I don't know when your time is out. Your time might be out right now. I might be next to you. You know what I'm saying? I'll go out. God be going out too like a fool. That's what you call a foolish death. Josiah died that way. Josiah, foolish death. When the king told him, when the warrior told him to leave, but he said no. He said, this is your business. Leave. He didn't want to leave. He died a foolish death. So me being around you, and you doing wicked, you know what I'm saying? And I should be not around you. I could die a foolish death. Because y'all taking you out. And he ain't going to stop taking you out. I'm just right there. You know what I'm saying? He's taking you out right now. And I'm right there next to you. He ain't going to stop taking you out because I'm right there. You done. That's what I'm trying to say is you don't have to be there. There you go. You're close. You know what I'm saying? Even though you're going to Shamarine, but you took it out. I ain't trying to leave yet. I'm doing work with y'all. But if y'all take me out, you takes me out. But don't take me out like that. That's painful, man. But I'm trying to get at, man, that is Elisha said, because of Jehoshaphat, I'm in your presence. I'm not going to be here. That's what I'm talking about, the groups. I don't care if they with Yisrael or not. You know, if they sin and they're wrong, you don't have to be with them. Get out of there. Stay from among them. Be ye separate. Taste not, handle not. Leave it alone. Let's go to, done. Thank you, yo. Let's go to 2 Chronicles 26. Second Chronicles 26. I was reading about this king I was talking about, Minister Favor, yesterday when we was talking. I want to show you about this king, man. Verse 15, 23. And he made an Jerusalem engines, vengeance of cunning. Verse 14. As I have prepared for them throughout all the hosts of shields and spears and helmets and harbigons and bows and slings and to cast stones. This king did a lot for Jerusalem. And he made in Jerusalem engines invented by cunning men to be on the towers and upon the bulwarks, to shoot arrows and great stones withal. And his name spread far abroad, For he was marvelous help till he was strong. But when he was strong, his heart was lifted up to his destruction. For he transgressed against Yah. He went into the temple of Yah to burn incense upon the altar of incense. And Azariah, the priest, went in after him, and with him fourscore priests of Yah that were violent men, strong men. And they withstood Azariah the king, and said to him, It appertaineth not unto you, Azariah, to burn incense unto Yah, but to the priests, the sons of Aaron, that are consecrated to burn incense. Go out of the sanctuary, for thou hast trespassed, neither shall it be for thy honor from Yah. Then Uzziah was wroth, and had a censer in his hand to burn incense. And while he was wroth with the priest, leprosy even rose up in his forehead before the priest in the house of Yah, from beside the incense also. And Azariah, the chief priest, and all the priests looked upon him. Behold, he was leprosy in his forehead, and they thrust him out from thence.
You gotta go.
Yeah, and himself hastened also to go out, because Yah had smitten him. And as the king was a leper until the day of his death, and dwelt in several houses, being leper, for he was cut off from the house of Yah. And Jotham the son was over king's house, judging the people of the land. All right. Again, I use this one. Even though he's a pastor, a priest, a king, and he had authority, but he did not have authority in the house of Yah. These priests threw him out. What if that king would have kept on doing what he's doing and the authority he had? You see what he did in Jerusalem. You know what I'm saying? His pride lifted up. He did great things in Jerusalem, but he went too far. Pride got in him. So y'all put leprosy on him. And y'all already know what leprosy is. You know, they seen that, they threw him out. So I'm saying the same thing with you. When you see leaven, throw it out. Throw it out. Even though you got 44 scores, that's 80 men they had. You know what I'm saying? If you got to get 80 men to throw something out, get 80 men. Don't be ashamed. And that's what happened. All right, let's go to a couple more scriptures. Exodus chapter 32. Richard talked about the calf. Exodus 32, verse 19. We're talking about leaven in the group. 19 and 28. And it came to pass, as soon as he came nigh to the camp, he saw the calf, the dancing. Musa anger waxed hot. And he cast the tablets out of his hand and brake them beneath the mount. And he took the calf which they had made and burned it in the fire and ground it to powder and shewed it upon the water and made the children of Israel drink of it. And Musa said unto Aaron, What did these people unto you that y'all have brought so great a sin upon them? Verse 21. And Musa said unto Aaron, What did these people unto you that you have brought so a great a sin upon them? And Aaron said, Let not the anger of my Lord wax hot. Thou knowest the people, that they are set on mischief. For they said unto me, Make us God, which shall go before us. For as for this Musa, the man that brought us up out of the land of Mizraim, we want not what is become of him. And I said unto them, Whosoever have any gold, let them break it off. So they gave it me. Then I cast it into the fire, and there came out this calf. And when Musa saw that the people were naked, For Aaron had made them naked unto their shame amongst their enemies. Then Musa stood in the gates of the camp and said, Who is on Yah's side? Let him come out unto me. And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together unto him. And he said unto them, Thus says Yah of Yisrael, Put every man his sword by his side, and go in and out from gate to gate throughout the camp, and slay every man his brother, and every man his companion, and every man his neighbor. And the children of Levi did according to the word of Musa, and there fell on the people that day about 3,000 men. Again, I say right there about 11 in the camp. There was a group. Again, Musa said, Who's on y'all side? That's what he asked us. All right? Who's on y'all side? But I said, this is what I like. This is what y'all showed me. I'm going to show you this to you. Verse 25. And when Musa saw that the people were naked, for Aaron had made them naked to their shame amongst their enemies. You know, God has showed me that when you are in sin in a group, you are naked. You are a group of naked. Think about a group of people just being naked.
Well, it said in Revelation, now notice down, wretched, naked.
Naked. Naked. That means you're shamed. You know what I'm saying? Just like Eve and Adam. They were naked and they put fig leaves around them. Because they were naked and shameless. Shameless and barrenness. The sin. You know what I'm saying? This is when you was in a group. You were naked, man. You were ashamed. Let's go to, I got a present for you. There's a favor. Let's go to, we're going to Jahu.
Okay.
Yeah, man. If I can find, I forgot where I put them at, man. 2 Kings 3, 6, 7, 2 Kings 10. There you go. 2 Kings 10. Second Kings 10. I'm using this whereas you see a group, you put that sin to death, man. You kill that sin, man. If you got to leave a group or something like that, turn and leave. Ain't no problem with that. But you don't stay in the group 11, man. You don't stay in the group 11. You already see everybody stay in the group 11, die. You see that. I'm not trying to die. I'm going to die in Yahuwah. I ain't going to die outside of Yahuwah. All right. This is after Yahuwah already took kingship. But I'm on verse chapter 10. You want to get a chance to read chapter 9. And they had 70 sons in Samaria. And Jehu wrote letters and sent Samaria to the rulers of Yisrael, to the elders and to them that brought up Ahab children, saying, Now as soon as this letter comes to you, seeing your master's sons are with you, and there are with you chariots and horses and fenced cities also in armor, look, even out the best and leaders of your master's son, and let him of his father's throne and fight for your master's house. For they were exceedingly afraid and said, Behold, 2 kings stood not before him. How then shall we stand? And he that was over the house, and he that was over the city, the elders also, and the bring up of the children sent to Jehu, saying, We are the servants, and we will do all that thou shalt bid us. We will not make any king do you that which is good in your eyes. Then he wrote a letter the second time to them, saying, If you be mine, and if you will hearken to my voice, take you the heads of the men, your master's sons, and come to me to Jezreel by tomorrow this time. Now the king's son, being 70 persons, were with the great men of the city, which brought them up. And it came to pass, when the letter came to them, that they took the king's son and slew 70 persons, and put their heads in a basket, and sent him to Jezreel. And they came a messenger and told him, saying, They have brought the heads of the king's son, And he said, lay ye down in the 2 heaps of the entry and of the gates until the morning. And it came to pass in the morning that he went out and stood, and he said to all the people, ye be righteous, behold, I conspired against my master and slew him. But who slew all these? Now, know now that there should fall into the earth nothing of the words of Yah, which Yah spake concerning the house of Ahab. For Yah hath done that which he spake by the seer, the servant Elijah. So Jehu slew all that remained of the house of Ahab and Jezreel, and all the great men, and all his kinfolks, and all his priests, unto the left, and he left him none remaining. And he rose and departed and came to Samaria, as he was at the shearing house in the way. Jehu went met with the brother of Ahaziah, king of Judah, and said, who are you? And they answered, we are the brethren of Ahaziah, and we go down to salute the children of the king and the children of the queen. And he said, take them alive. And they took them alive, and slew them at the pit of the shearing house, even 240 men, neither left any of them. And when he was departed thence, he lightened off of Jehoiada, the son of Rechab, coming to meet him, and he slew him, and said to him, in your heart, he said, and he said to him, is your heart right, as my heart is with your heart? And Jehoiada answered, if it be, give me your hand. And he gave him his hand, and he took him up into the chariot, and he said, come with me, and see my zeal, for Yah so that they made him ride in his chariot. Okay? And when he came into the Samaria, he slew all that remained unto Ahab the Samaria, till he had destroyed him, according to the saying of the Yah, which he spake to Elijah. And Jehu gathered all the people together, and said unto them, Ahab served Baal a little, but Jehu served him much. Now therefore call to me all the prophets of Baal, and all his servants, and all his priests. Let none be wanting, for I have a great sacrifice to do to Baal. Whosoever shall be wanting shall not live. But Jehu did it in subtlety, to the intent that he might destroy the worship of Baal. And Jehu said, proclaim a solemn assembly for Baal, and they proclaimed it. And Jehu sent to all Israel, and all the worship of Baal came so that there was not a man left that came not. And they came to the house of Baal, and the house of Baal was full from one end to another. And he said unto him that was over the vestry, bring forth vestments for all the worship of Baal. And he brought them forth vestments. And Jehu went, and Jehudad, the son of Rechab, into the house of Baal, and said unto the worship of Baal, search and look that there be here with you none of the servants of Yah, but the worship of Baal only. Now see that again. Verse 24. And when they went into the other offer the sacrifice and burnt offering, Jehu appointed 80 men. That's 80 men. 80 men without, and said, if any of the men whom I have brought unto you hand escape, he that letteth him go, his life shall be for that life of him. Now I stop right here. Now this is how serious Jehu was. This is how serious he was about sin. He followed the words of Elijah. This was a group. He took out a group. He took out sin. And that's what I'm trying to tell you, how he took out sin. He did it subtly. He said, look, make sure no man of y'all was in this group. Search him out. There wasn't none. Then he told the 80 men, if you miss one out, your life or his life. That's how serious this thing was. We should be the same. Our soul's at stake, man. Our soul. You need to kill the leaven. Kill the sin. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing against the law in America to kill sin. I didn't say kill a human. I said kill sin. Kill it. There's nothing wrong with that. Kill it. And that's what they did. Every man a bow, every prophet, everyone had a censer, man. He caught everyone from the far end of Jerusalem to the other end of Jerusalem. Far end of Samaria, other end of Samaria, or Judea, or what? All was in the house of Baal and gave them vestments, gave them everything, gave them what they want. They all partied, praising Baal. And Jehu said, give him. He said, one get out, that's your soul. So guess what? They did like Musa said, who's on y'all side? They went out in the camp, and what he said, 3,000 men died, something like that, 30,000? 30,000 died. You talking about companions, friends, mothers, father, sister, brother, aunt, uncles, grandmothers. All that died. So there's no excuse. That's why Yeshua said, you love mother, father, and brother, and sister more than me, you're not worthy of the kingdom of God. That's why Yahushua said those things. He could say that because it's already done, already in the past already. They already went through the test already. Everybody went through the test. Everybody went through the test. Let's go to 1 Samuel. Just bear with me. I want to get the rest of these scriptures. I could have gave them to you. I want to give you the rest of these scriptures. 1 Samuel. We talk about Saul. Chapter 15. You already know what Saul did. Saul had a group. He listened to the people. You know what I'm saying? This is what Yah has told me about Saul. We'll read this again. It says, verse 22. And Samuel said, had thou Yah is great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifice as in obeying the voice of Yah. Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity, or idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the words of Yah, he will reject you from being king. You tell me rebellion as sin as witchcraft. And that's what Yah is telling me. When you do witchcraft in a group of 11, that's witchcraft, man. You are fooling everybody to continue to do sin. You betwixt them. You trick them. They're in ignorance, but you're doing presumption. You know better. They don't know better. But you are doing it when y'all told him to do that assignment and kill everything. He's supposed to do that. But he want to follow the people. And when he followed the people, he began sin, rebellion against y'all. Then he brought witchcraft, a form of witchcraft in that. Saying it's all right. That's what y'all is telling me. That's witchcraft. Leaven in a group. Witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? You twixing. And you know better. And you don't want to correct nobody. That's why I say when you're scared to tell somebody that it's wrong. You're scared when somebody says, I'm just going to go commit abortion, man. Tell that girl, I don't care. That's wrong, man. Let that child live. That child have a right to live, man. That's your mistake. You should have kept your legs shut. I say that. Dudes, keep your pants up. Speak the same way. You know? Same-sex marriage, man. Come on, man. Y'all didn't do that there. It's male, female, man. No man and man, woman and woman. Come on, man. You get that fire and lust like that. That's a spirit, man. I rebuke that in Yahushua's name. That's a spirit, man. What kind of stuff is that? What kind of stuff you teaching my children and stuff like that? You're a man. I need a man to teach my children. I need a woman to teach women how to be women. You know how to do proper things. Can't do a same-sex marriage. There's confusion. There's no stability when there's confusion. There's none. So you got to speak. If you're ashamed to say that thing, then y'all be ashamed of you because you're ashamed of his words. That's witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? Showing up delusion. You showing deception. Fake. Familiarity of spirits. Familiar spirits. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 7. When y'all told me about that, I was like, wow, man. All the people. Korah, witchcraft, deception, man. 250 guys in the census, man. Look what happened to their whole household, man. Witchcraft, Satan, witchcraft, deceive 1/3 of the angels. Witchcraft. Bad stuff, man. Deuteronomy chapter 7. Verse 2. Verse 7. Excuse me, verse 1, excuse me. 7 verse 1. When y'all shall bring, when y'all shall bring you into the land, whether there goes to possess it, it has cast out many nations before you, the Hittites and the Gershites, the Amorites and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites and the Hittites and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than you. And when Yah shall deliver them before you, you shall smite them, and utterly destroy them. You shall make no covenant with them, nor shew mercy unto them. You shall make marriage with them. Your daughters, you shall not give unto his sons, nor his daughters thou shalt take unto your son. For they will turn away your sons from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of Yah be kindled against you and destroy you suddenly. But this shall you deal with them. You shall destroy their altars, break down their images, cut down their groves, burn their grave images with fire, for you are a Kadesh people unto Yah. Yah, Elohim Yah, has chosen you to be a special people unto himself, above all the people that are upon the face of the earth. Yah did not set this love upon you, nor chose you, because you were more numbered than any people, for you were the fewest of all people, but because Yah loved you, because he would keep his oath which he had sworn to your fathers, as Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Have Yah brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of a house of bondage from the hands of Pharaoh, king of Bezerine. Now therefore that Yah, and he is Yah, and faithful Yah, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him, and keep his commandment to 1,000 generations, and repays them that hate him to their face, to destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hate him. He will repay him to his face. Okay. Again, I reason I was talking about this again. Verse 3. Ye shall not make marriage with them. Their daughters shall you not give unto his son, nor his daughters shalt thou take unto your son. For they will turn away your son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of Yah be kindled against you and destroy you suddenly. When you turn something away or something, it's called witchcraft. You are tricking them. Yes, you might go and marry them, your sons and their daughters, but eventually something in them is witchcraft. It's going to turn you from Yah. Point blank, automatic. Automatic. Turn you. That's the witchcraft part of what I'm trying to tell you. The rebellious part of it is, man, you disobey Yah's word anyway. That's rebellion already. Because you shouldn't do that. That's what happened with Solomon and Nehemiah. Nehemiah chapter 13. That's why I said that in Shabbat scriptures today. Go to Nehemiah. Just bear with me. I got a couple of scriptures, man. I'm trying to say that. I just want to get this out, man. God gave me this to y'all. The last feast of unleavened bread, last feast day we have. He gave me this, the group, he called it the group 11. I'm glad. So, Minister Faye went on the leaven, purge it out of you, and you blow up, keep on eating, you explode, you be mutated, they'll call it. You become like a some foul beast. Mutation.
That's right, man.
He said mutation. I never thought about it like that. That's crazy. He said mutation. That's funny, man. I never thought that in the spiritual wise, man, which is true. Talk about the bulls on you. You know what I'm saying? The bulls, the plagues, the leprosy, the ugliness, man. Talk about the stinkness, man, the rottenness of the body on you. Ugh. That's because of leaven. You choose not to do things of Yah. Now we're talking about the group part of it. When you hang in the group, and most times when you hang in the group, you're going to die. Chapter 13, we talk about Nehemiah 13, 22, 27. And I command the Levites that they should cleanse themselves, and that they should come and keep the gates and sanctify the Sabbath day. Remember me, O Yah, concerning this also, and spare me according to the greatness of thy mercy. In those days also I saw the Jews had married wives of Ashdod and Ammon and the Moabs, and their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jewish language, but according to the language of each people. And I contended with them, and cursed them, and smote certainly of them, and put off their hairs, and smote them, swear by Yah, saying, You shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor their daughters unto your son, or for yourselves. Did not Solomon king of Israel sin by this thing? Yet among many nations was there no king like him, who was beloved of his Yah, and Yah made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin. Outlandish women caused him to sin. Caused to sin. Shall we then hearken to you to do all this great evil, to transgress against all Yah, and marry strange wives? And one of the sons of Yoadai, the son of Eliashib, the high priest, was son-in-law of Sanballat, the Horonite. Therefore, I chased him from me. All right. Again, okay, 29. Remember them, by Yah, because they had defiled the priesthood and the covenant of the priesthood and of the Levites. Thus cleanse I them from all strangers, and appointed the wards of the priests and the Levites, everyone in his business. Everyone in his business. Excuse me. All right. Same thing. This was an example of witchcraft, example of going into the women of Moab, sons of Moab, Ammon, and the gods what happened. Children were not even speaking the language or reading the language. They didn't know the laws of Yah. This is what happened. That's what witchcraft does. It changes you, so you won't praise Yah. And this is groups. They were in groups. All that leaven. That's what Nehemiah. You know what I'm saying? He cried out. He contended with them. You know what I'm saying? He cursed them. You think about cursing them. Rebuking them. You do that, man. So shake them up. Tell them what's going on. They have filed themselves before Yah. That's what we're here for. You see your brother, sister, Aaron in error, you go to them. You let them know. If they didn't want to hear you, then you go with a group. 2 or 3 or 4. Then you don't hear you, bring them to the house of Yah, where I'm at. So it'll be a witness from you, the house, the man of Yah, and Yahuwah, that it's going to be right here publicly. You know what I'm saying? A hater of Yah. That's how you bring a matter into court of Yahuwah. supposed to let them know that you and Aaron. Come out among them, be separate, so y'all may receive you. Right? This time, 2 more scriptures. Romans 8. And then from Romans 8, we're going to Hebrews 12. We're done. Romans chapter 8. This is one of the verses I learned when I was in jail. Memorizing this verse. Verse 28. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us, or separate me, from the love of Yah, which is in Yahusha, the Mashiach, or Yah. Right? Said this thing, he's persuaded, neither death or life, Melechis, principalities or power, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of Yah. I said that is what's going to separate you from the love of Yah. For the 11, will cause you to die like that. He gave Apostle Paul kind of gave an example that none of this is going to separate the love. None of this is going to separate you the love. Hebrews 12, 13, 14. And make straight path for your feet. Lest that which is lame be turned out of the way, but let it rather be healed. Follow peace with all men and holiness, without which no man shall see Yah. And that's verse 14. Follow peace with all men and holiness, without which no man shall see Yah. Holiness. So you're 11. If you're not in holiness, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to see Yah. Look at all the things I read today. Those men were not in holiness. Those men did not see Yah. You know, holiness is walking in the right pathway with Yah. That's holiness. Obeying His law, statutes, commandments, judgments, and precepts. That is holiness. All right. That's the end of our service today. I thank y'all. I thank y'all for being patient. But like I said, 11 in the group. It's time to get out of the group. If you're in a group that's 11, you know what I'm saying? You're naked. You're in shame. You're in witchcraft. You've been beguiled. So get out of that group. All right. Go ahead. Read it.
Looking diligently, lest any man fail of the grace of Yah, lest any root of bitterness spring up, trouble you, and thereby many be defiled.
There you go. Come on. Again.